30 seconds. Potential conflicts, Steel, Joshua Nissan will be here to see if they can defend the honor of Marsborne here on Ancient. T-side start here for Cryptic and the gang as they get cave control very early on. Retake setup here for Marsborne as that kit will be in the back lane.
You guys hear the audio?
Alongside that smoke for the IGL.
Yeah, this is going to raise a lot, even more questions.
No, I don't hear it yet.
Roster adjustment, right? I mean, this is pretty surprising to see, but not a bad thing, all things considered. Ball's going to go down. And now we see Wolfie able to get the first engagement, but now it's a question about what they want to do here. Now, being down the man, they're going to have to put some pressure onto this. They have to be able to find some way to engage these fights. Everybody is just behind this. Now this is just going to be a full-on gunfight. A little bit back and forth we go, but now these CT pistols, they're starting to cook, but look at Rush. He's able to come through the back lines with the Glock. Almost able to find this third. He might have single-handedly been able to find this, but look, he gives his backup. How is he still alive? He is just playing duck, duck, goose. Bottom can't land a shot. This is just unreal. Now a fake defuse to come through. Rush able to finish the damn job.
And this is the greatest part about Rush, right? Is as a vet, you know, he's seen so much stuff in his career. He understands how to play these clutches, and in the previous iteration, that's what he was known for. Just finding ways to dig Nouns out of some sticky situations. And, you know, I've not seen as much of that clutching ability for Rush on this iteration, but that's him kind of turning back the clock and showing what he's made of from that old team. And, you know, you consider players on the potential chopping block motivation issues, especially considering Rush missed out on that last major.
No, we can't.
You call into question him specifically. What can he provide as a player at this level? Does he still have it in him to run all the way back to that major in Austin?
Yeah, we have no audio. Are you
no, I can hear you, Chris. I just listened to it.
Just missed the toesies.
Yep.
Such an interesting route.
Maybe stream
I actually love this double player push, or pushing the cave, and even Cryptic. Look at that. Look at Sneaky Beaky able to get that first engagement, taking down Steel. I mean, with the Mag 7, I was thinking that could have been a decent position with a gun like that. But man, you missed that first shot. It kind of feels like you're just.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah,
I got a Samsung all-in-one washing machine. He's awesome.
For 98.
Does it make the
really?
noises?
I hate my 2-in-1.
And even at that rate,
yeah,
my mom got one, and it was so bad.
Against the
yeah, it's kind of a piece of crap, but it's pretty awesome. You can start it at night, and then it finishes by morning without having to do a lot.
But the thing that bothers me is that I don't trust it to be dried by morning, because half the time mine just doesn't fully dry, so I have to do 2 drying cycles.
That's weird. I haven't experienced that. Are you cleaning out the lint pretty regularly?
Yes, every time.
Oh, Mark.
Linus does get out safely. MOTM as well.
Yeah, that's true. I don't really do activities
like
that.
I think the
Samsung will break down prematurely.
Still, Nouns show that
compared to
they can tussle
and you can only
with
do
these
50%.
SMGs. And I think the main thing,
it's a smaller load, right?
Your review guy that you sent me, David, said the opposite of that.
Before I talk about the
yeah, you mean that?
This is the most confusing
stream possible.
Hey, we're discussing the important things right now.
Especially now that they don't have Grizz.
Guys,
you gotta
don't get a 2-in-1 washer and dryer. Just get it. Don't if it ain't broke.
By taking engagements as early as possible.
I disagree. Mine's great. Have a great experience so far, and you know what? I can watch my Ring door cam on the screen. And if I had a Ring door cam, it would be awesome.
That's fair.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I kind of just felt like Nouns just, you know,
so
able to
who is
clean
this
up that round really nicely. And again, there was a lot of things that were thrown at them, and they were able to respond back really well, like you said. So a bit of a tough one.
But who's CJ the King? He wasn't here last time, right?
He was not here
last time. He has to play in
to see if they can find a second, just not working out for them. At least Monim able to kind of save the MP9. I mean, it's something to work with, I guess, right? But I mean, he's kind of the guy that, again,
yeah, he is there.
I don't even know if you want to call it a playmaker.
So it's the same roster restrictions that we're having to deal with.
Already looking, like you said, really polished on this. I kind of wonder a little bit here too, like just my speculation brain is like.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And you know what?
But does that kind of make
Blaze is the one that came up big on Nuke though. Like he was terrible in the other maps, but on Nuke he like owned it to the end, and like we lost
kind of like I don't want to say butting heads, but maybe having 2 minds.
And some say it could have been the coaching too,
but could be a little bit of a
unconfirmed.
I honestly think it's a benefit, to be honest with you.
Let's blame the coaching staff.
Wolfie, at this point,
someone, right?
You know, he's never been a caller in his career. He's having an opportunity now to grow into that role, considering Steel had to kind of head for the hills. He's now a full-time analyst, and that's a fantastic career path for him. But that does leave Wolfie a bit stranded, right? He's got to now fend for his own with the new team and kind of figure out this role. And having Steel occasionally sub in for games here and there, I think is only just going to benefit him and make him feel a little bit more confident in his calling abilities. And I think he's really come into it. I thought he's really had some flawless calls against some top teams. He's pushed Sin to the limit when they've played against M80. And I think it's just a matter of time before he truly can kind of be considered one of the better IGLs in North America. But it's going to take some time. And you need a little bit of guidance. And this is why I'm just so happy that Steel is back in the Counter-Strike conversation, because it's going to allow for the evolving of players like Wolfie.
Yeah, it's a really good point you bring up, and I actually, I don't even think I disagree at all. I feel like I never really disagree with you, pal. Let's be real, but look,
of course not, Laz. You're Canadian. You can't disagree with me.
I gotta be more polite, you know. Wouldn't be in my nature, you know. Like what's that all about? I'm just kidding. I say about. Don't worry, everyone. All right, look, I'm getting excited for this one. I mean, we get the big green out, Junior. I feel like Junior's been really having some really good performances lately. I wouldn't say like just monstrous, but I think we've been seeing a little bit more consistency out of him, which is always a good thing to see. He's always been kind of that question mark a little bit at times, where like he kind of would fade away sometimes, but then he could pop off at some given moments. But I feel like that consistency factor is getting better from my perspective. But we'll see if he can keep going with it. But at least Marsborne able to get the first engagement to start things off, but you can already see Nouns, they're looking like just for the old A exec, not even going to go for the CT smoke. They're just going to go in a bit dry on this. This is a little bit of a chaotic scenario, because look at this now. Everybody's starting to drop and hit the floor. All of a sudden, Nouns, they're down to one lonely player of Cryptic, and he's on the 1v2, and the bomb, it's definitely not in the most advantageous position.
Yes, a winnable clutch, though, for Cryptic. He's got to suss out his counter IGL. Already dug into A main, and if he doesn't clear this carefully, this can get dangerous, but he clears it very, very cleanly. Minus now thrust into a 1v1, bomb at his feet. He's got some stall utility as well with 45 seconds left, but he's going to back away all the way into the CT spawn. And Cryptic on the other end just has no idea where Minus could have gone off to. He could have wrapped back in the middle to try and surprise Cryptic. He could have fallen all the way back to spawn. He could be hiding in temple. He could be boosted up in tree. There's so many different possibilities here that Cryptic has got to kind of figure out in his head. And with 20 seconds left on the clock, he's not going to be able to clear out the A side proper. And that's the worrying sign here. He's still got an incendiary. And surely a barrel must have been spotted there for Minus. He's lined up for Brokey, and he'll find himself the first round for Marsborne. It took a little bit to get there, but the X Factor gets it over the line.
Yeah, I really, really love that positioning change, that happens here for Marsborne. That was huge because, again, just able to back off, able to, just isolate a little bit, the angles, just eliminating so many different areas that have to be cleared. It makes it, like you said, so much harder for Nouns to go on that clutch for Cryptic. Again, right down to the wire. It's a bit of a 50-50 coin toss, but nonetheless, Minus does a great job. Brings them their first round into this. Not the most convincing round, but obviously it's going to work, though. It's going to be something. Big Green going to be here for Wolfie. And that's, again, for me, Paladin, I don't know if you'll agree, but, I mean, I feel like Wolfie, to me, has always been that guy as well, where we've been always wanting to see him have these big moments with the op. Junior somehow gets a spam, and oh my god, even Wolfie's able to get a nice little bit of a tag on a peeping.
That's the lane to long kill, and now Junior just walked all the way up elbow as well to find another steal. Not aware of that possibility, because why would you? It's a minute 15 on the clock, and you're already at the base of B. They're going to continue on this aggression. Cryptic has now gotten a cave, and they're playing behind the smoke, but they're just going to flash through. They want to come through this and try to trade it out. It's only MOTM in the back lanes. Cryptic will walk all the way into the site proper. He'll realize that this site is completely clear. And Nouns all of a sudden, off the back of just a crazy spam from Junior from lane, and at a crazier entry, Nouns have just gotten themselves a fourth for free.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we were kind of mentioning, right? We were saying, look, like Junior has been doing really well lately. It feels like he's kind of been finding a lot more impact in the server, not just with an op necessarily, but just overall in general. And this round is a good exhibit of that, right? So you see Marsborne, they're going to have to just kind of tuck tail. They're going to have to get out of this, keep these guns in the preserve, and I mean, it's all because of Junior, like you said, getting a double kill, able to get a quick spam. That is the most tilting way to go right away on the CT side. You're just like, yeah, I didn't even see anybody. And I got instantly just dead. But look, a little bit of damage getting inflicted here from the CT side. But now we're down by 3. We're going to have to see what they want to do a little bit on this. They could call for the timeout, just, you know, maybe a different plan on this, fight for some map control, possibly. Nouns have just been kind of taking this, you know, slow and steady. Really nothing too fancy, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, they are taking it slow in some aspects, but obviously that previous round there, just trying to burst through if they're seeing that opportunity. Yeah. And again, it's going to be tough for Steel to get acclimated in this scenario, especially when Cryptic wants to up the tempo in some certain situations like that where, yes, Junior finds a kill and he realizes that the B side is weakened. He's going to go after a player there. This time, Wolfie has been mollied out of middle, but this op is still trained in on the elbow side. Junior still takes care of business. The flash is good. Peeping trades as well. Everything going in Nouns' favor at this point. I'm sure MOTM finds 1 kill to slow the pace of this Nouns train, but the kills for the T side are just ever flowing. And it leaves Chop alone in the 1v3. Does have an opportunity to recover a weapon and a head spotted. Kill found. And now he can pick up an AK as well, which means that this gets a little interesting for both Cryptic and Peeping. They've got to figure out where in the hell this anchor has gone off to. And they've got a minute to kind of formulate this plan.
Yeah, they definitely do. And I mean, the only thing right now for Chop is like he doesn't have that armor. So again, it's going to be really, really important that he can just kind of out-aim these guys even in this situation, just because it's going to be a lot more important. But Peeping down to 7, this is not a good scenario, but look at how fast Chop's here. He's already close encounters. He might be able to get this timing. And no, he's actually going to just hang on back. He doesn't go for it. He tries to play a little bit more patient on it. He's got the smoke, and he also has the HE. But it looks like he wants to go for the gunfight. He's going to try to investigate as much as possible. Cryptic holding a nice little bit of an off angle. Should be able to get it done, and indeed he does. A really tough, questionable scenario for Chop. I mean, there's so many different options you could have gone for, but unfortunately, it's going to be a full face of lead.
I think he made the right play there. I mean, at that point, you don't want to use your nade, you don't want to use your smoke because you don't want to give up that position. So why not take the raw duel, see if you can shave it down to the 1v1, especially considering the bomb was essentially planted for Donut there. But Cryptic very wise to that idea as his teammate was going searching in middle. And Nouns will continue the good looks here with the 5-1 start. Still no real wanting of this AWP. I mean, Wolfie is taking it off of a dead body, but he's not purchasing into it. For now, Nouns will continue to dominate lane pressure here, even if they've been giving up middle. Steel has been tasked with this it's a very important position as a CT. They've been giving him so much to deal with that, but it's not going to matter. It's the utility from Marsborne that does the trick, finds that opening incision, but CJ's immediately there for the trade.
Yeah, some really good utility work, but again, it's even getting him a kill, and even, you know, CJ quite low to 28, but now, I mean, this is a moment where, again, it's back to the 4-4. Do we see Marsborne kind of going for a little bit of aggression, just trying to find at least that 1 kill to get themselves some kind of an advantage? You can see Nouns just kind of posted up. Junior just barely missing the shot against Steel, so he's going to get himself a second life on this one. And now the spam once again. Oh, no! Oh, that poor man. He can't seem to buy himself any sort of a scenario where he stays alive. Everybody's just getting spammed away.
And again, Choppa's got to back away and hope that his teammates can get here in time, then maybe he can clip one player's wings. But Nouns will scale in. They've put down the proper utility. The spam is decent, but peeping shots are better. And that'll be the save call straight away. Wolfie and Modem had such a fast, aggressive flank very quickly, but Russia spotted both players out. One of them falls. And again, the captain cannot get involved in this game. 6-1 for Nouns. And I mean, you can see the comfort that Nouns have on this map, especially on this T side. They know how to hit the go button when they do find an entry. If they find an equalizing play, they're going to attack the same bomb site again and again and again. And you see how easily they've been kind of ripping into that B bomb site, especially if they know that Steel's playing around that area. If they want to kind of target him a little bit more individually, they can, and they're succeeding right now.
Yeah, Yeah, it kind of just feels like, you know, Nouns are just kind of, you know, picking and choosing what they want. They're just going to get it for free pretty much, right? I mean, I feel for Marsborne, I would like to see a timeout here sooner than later because I feel like, again, things are getting out of hand. You're down by 5. Nothing's really looked that convincing. Okay, we finally get it. Thank goodness, because, look, they're going to have to figure out what to do a little bit differently. I feel like we've seen some decent utility work at times, but it seems like they're just getting out-dueled, and then they're opening up so many different gaps on their defense, right? But again, that's giving a lot of credit for Nouns. Like you said, there's so much comfortability for these guys. Like, they have 12 officials on this, you know, as a core. They have, you know, 8-4 record, pretty decent. And like we said, they've been able to have some good wins over some decent teams. But for Marsborne, it just feels everything's grim. It just feels like there's no horseshoe. There's no seam of luck for these guys right now.
It doesn't help that I don't think that they're really fighting for a lane at all because Steel is not up to date. And I'm not necessarily sure if that's just him being a little hesitant or if he doesn't have the proper support, but they're trying so hard to fight for mid. And then, you know, initially I actually did like the way he approached it, a little bit more aggressive, but now he's kind of being found out, and it's a real issue for Marsborne. This time they're going to try to duel a little bit ahead of this mid utility from Nouns, but they won't find an entry, which is the issue. They're going to turn their attention now back to this A site from main. Junior peeking into the angle, spots Modem, and does have to force out that Molotov and smoke combo.
They've already burned through so much utility too. Yeah, I mean, I like that Modem had his, you know, molly ready to go, but the smoke getting thrown onto it. So, like, they've already expended all their utility for the most part, right? I mean, we're at still over a minute left in this round, so just allowing Nouns have way more freedom what they want to do for the execution of what they want to go for. And you can already see Wolfie's going to be able to spot these heads. He's the only guy, one of the guys with a rifle, and now his teammates are falling. He has to be able to do something big, and that's going to help. That's going to be the double kill, but he's going to get caught into the crosshairs of peeping. Now it's all down to Chop with a 5-7 in hand. He's got himself some decent positioning here, Paladin. But can he get the kill? He will not. He's going to get chopped up, and Nouns securing a 7th round.
Peeping as that late stage lurk from middle to make sure that Wolfie's double kill does not win Marsborne that 2nd round. And it's just the ferocity in which they're splitting into these bomb sites and kind of just running these individuals down the throats of Marsborne. They're not getting a chance to breathe in these kind of mid-round situations. If they see a player and they take him down, there will be another player right behind them to trade it out. Every position that now they're wanting to take, they're getting it. Finally, something goes Marsborne's way as MOTM will find that opening kill onto Peeping. And so that does finally slow the pace of these rounds down just so slightly. And with that 4v5, Nouns have got to figure out a way to dig back. And I think it might be this B bomb site, especially considering how aggressive Rush is straight away.
Yeah, his positioning's phenomenal already, but now we're starting to see a little bit of a juggernaut moment here. Individuals are starting to finally shine a little bit more here for Marsborne, giving themselves the 5-on-3 advantage, but still got Junior alive. Full utility available for Cryptic minus the smokes. Double mollies though, so this is going to be good. This might be able to catch some of the CTs off their positioning. You can see the molly just lands on the edge cave. Minus has to reposition. Bomb's going to get picked up now from Nouns. Oh, they look like they're going to go back. They're going to go towards this A site possibly. They're not even entertaining this B hit. You already have, I think that's Junior. He's already pushed all the way half into Red Room. So he's got himself in a good position. He might be able to catch this player off guard. And oh, dear goodness, Chop. This guy has the worst luck in the world right now. He can't seem to find any sort of a scenario for him at all. The bomb now making its way through middle. Cryptic alive. Looking to see if he might be able to find something in the donut modem. Not giving up his position yet. I thought he might have been spotted on the edge of it. These guys are about to run right into each other. All of a sudden now the IGL lonesome, and he will be eradicated. And we finally see Marsborne picking up a round with only 1 casualty.
A little weird there from Nouns. They were kind of caught between multiple mines. I think they were considering an A split. They maybe had a feeler to potentially go out B. Eventually, you had 2 players kind of walking wounded into Donut 1 by 1. And Marsborne had read all of that at that point. They had pushed down B. They had pushed down through Cave. They figured out that lane was clear. And they had a fast flank to deal with any kind of straggling T-sided players there. And defensively, that was still well put together round for Marsborne, but this is one of the glaring issues that Nouns have had in terms of the clutch, in terms of trying to close out maps against top teams, and that is these late round scenarios. They're just not clutch enough. Of course, that might just be an outlier in this situation because they're just going to run through B and charge through 2 players straight away.
Oh, man. Yeah, Nouns are feeling it, man. They're just not even caring at all. They're like, you know what? Let's just go. Let's just hold W. Let's just take these sites. We're going to win it. We're going to outduel them. We're going to just run and gun, and look at that. Like, I mean, there was players caught off guard with utility in their hand, and oh, man, even Wolfie, he's a dead man. There's surely no way he's going to be able to stay alive. They're on the full hunt. Double swing and a miss here from Wolfie, and now Nouns are doing such a great job of pushing themselves in an 8-2 scoreline right now, Bowden. And the money, again, here from Marsborne, I mean, they're just pretty much trying everything they can. They're going to be able to get some guns, of course, but, man, this just thing, it kind of feels like it's falling apart round by round here.
Tough situation, truly, for Marsborne at this point, but I mean, what can you do if you're not able to win any duel? You're not having enough utility to stop this onslaught, and they're just running out through that mid-util. Minus does manage to eke out one, but Cryptic is always going to be there for the trade. Now, mid-control established. They're already trying to creep through this A main utility on that edge of the smoke. Rush has got himself a little bit of a sight line. MOTM has been tested throughout this map, and he stood tall in the donut, but can he stand tall once again? Complete freeze for Nouns as they take temple control. They want to see if they can find and surprise a CT before trying to get that bomb down. But even the CTs on the other end are trying to figure out information of their own regard. Wolfie and Chop set up in Red Room. But this might be where they come to their demise. Wolfie hits the deck, and Chop will be smoked out. But Chop going straight through that. He's going to go straight through that, and Rush will find his head. It's all up to MOTM, and he's just had players pass by him throughout that round and just can't do anything about it there, Laz. It's just such a brutal round to have, especially even with as well played as he's been playing throughout this map.
Yeah, and I love the calling here from Nouns, too. Like, the fact that they had that A site in full their control, right? We saw that Marsborne, they were putting so much attention in middle. Nobody was even paying attention at all. And they even, before they even get the bomb down, they're pushing through. So this is, again, just really good critical thinking. The IGLing of Nouns is just a whole other level. Smoke going to get thrown here for the bomb. Maybe steal. I mean, no kit. That's not going to make it a little bit easy, but maybe you can find a kill. Things could have turned around maybe, but Junior, a little bit of BM. All right, Junior. All right, not bad at all. The last round of the first half, and again, like, it just feels like Nouns picking and choosing whatever they want to do. They're going to get it for free. I'm not really impressed with Marsborne's like mid control. It seems like they're always just putting one player there. They're usually gone pretty much within the first 10 seconds of the round. It just felt like they got successful one time with a juggernaut play of Modem, but other than that, it's just been ice cold. Like, nothing's been happening for these guys.
Yeah, I think it's fine if they don't want to fight for mid, but you know, you've got to have a plan B in that situation. You're not winning mid at all in the early round. They're going through your util. So why not just save it and kind of play further back? But that's not helping either because you're not taking B main control. You're not fighting for A main. You're not playing aggressively in Donut. You're playing very passively in that regard as well. So there's got to be a little bit of a push and pull in that CT department, and it's just not there. And obviously some of that just has to come down to they're not winning gunfights. This is where you would love to have Grizz, you know, that kind of can opener to give you more opening 5v4s and maybe even 5v3s because he's got that multi-kill capability. But instead you've got Steel trying to deal with that plug-and-play in Cave, and he's just not able to stand up to that task. He doesn't have the feeling as to when he wants to push through that position and really try to put the hurt on Nouns. And that's just the nature of the beats. They've got to figure out another win condition to make it work.
Yeah, Marsborne needs something in the win condition right now because it feels like it's looking very, very dark and not looking like a likely place right now for them at all. Nouns still not committing to this, but maybe. Again, CJ able to find himself that bit of an opener. Good palm flash thrown. CJ maybe will not be able to find it. So Marsborne able to find something back a little bit. Bomb's going to make its way through Cave, though, already. Look at Wolfie. Deep onto long here. Good aggression onto this. Finally taking down one of the veterans of Nouns, of Rush. Giving themselves the slightest advantage, maybe to engage on more fights. Leaving the last two. Junior able to put this op into work. Still with just under a minute remaining. They might even backtrack on this. The ball looking like it might entertain some kind of a mid, maybe A play. Junior's hoping and praying for something of a pick. But so far, not going to happen. Cryptic. Is he going to expect somebody close on the left here? He has no more utility. This is all about the gunfight. Junior here to join him. A player to jump through. Looking for that instant trade will be... the sneakers, but oh god, he's gone. He's dead. And now it's a FAMAS able to do something else maybe. Junior's trying everything in his power with the big green to work, and yes, he will. And look at it, Minus just going, what the hell happened?
How did they disassemble a site like that? I couldn't tell you. Maybe Minus can put something up on the board as he finds Junior. It's all down to Cryptic in the 1v1. And there's still no kid. It's got to be a 10-second defuse. There's no way he's sticking that, and he will take the gunfight. Cryptic will come out on top. Double digits for Nouns as we head to the break.
All right, welcome back. We're going into the second half of the first best of one here in Ancient, where Nouns have just, I don't know, man, they've just like gorilla smashed themselves into this game and already putting themselves at double digits. And I don't know about you, Paladin, but I feel like, you know, things are looking a little bit swampy over here for Marsborne.
Yeah, you could say that again. Marsborne now have to do it on the harder side. And they're just going to send out an all-out Hail Mary to this A bomb site, which is completely open for the business. Keeping will try to get one before he falls, or at least stay alive. But look at Steel, man. He's back with a vengeance. Been just getting put through the ringer over on the B side of the map. He just completely cracks open this A side. CJ will try to fight back, but Steel has done a ton of work already. Finding 3 kills in the round total. And Marsborne will find 3 in total as well.
Yeah, not bad at all. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, Steele's he's really had a bad going on this one, right? You're like subbing in, you're like, yeah, I feel good. I feel like I can play. And then it's just like, yeah, nothing works. And everybody's just getting killed and game's just falling apart. But look, a good rebound here in the first pistol, or the second pistol, I should say. And I mean, now, I mean, look, I mean, for Nouns, I mean, they went for a stack, right? I mean, they went for a B stack on that. They kind of gambled it. I don't even mind that at all. So it was just more about the retake. Just wasn't really much that they could work with just because of the aggression. But again, I love that Steel was putting a lot of pressure on that CT spawn. That was really important. I think that just allowed them to close everything, all the options. Good flash coming in for the CT side. They're trying to do a little bit of a cruncherino, but no. Gonna get mopped up. They're gonna get eaten alive, and there we go. Marsborne gonna find themselves a 4th round here pretty quick and swiftly here, Paladin.
Definitely. And now, I mean, it's just a question of how much can you build back into this if you're Marsborne? How much can you show that caliber that we kind of touted for this team, even with the kind of concessions they've had to make as a roster? Can you still find a competitive scoreline with Steel in the lineup?
Yeah, it's Steel and a savior.
Yeah, I mean, if he has this kind of performance that he's had in the last couple, then by all means, it's not a hamstring of a substitution, but of course, he's got to keep that up.
He definitely does, and that's what we were kind of talking about. Like, and we were talking about player to watch was Grizz, and ironically, he was kind of the guy that's not here. So we're like, oh well, that's really unfortunate because Grizz is definitely a playmaker on this team. So I mean, not to say Steel can't be. It's just they're 2 different players, but. Again, a lot of opportunity for Marsborne to see what they can do. Gun rounds coming into effect. Double FAMAS here for Nouns. Marsborne looking like they want to just go for the old deep ball. Going to get that late mid control. Bomb's not even going to make its way. They're not even committed to this. Bottom's going to take a huge amount of damage already. Down to 21. Steel is already below 50 as well. So Nouns are already doing a good amount of work here, tenderizing these guys. And they barely have seen each other. It's, again, that utility work once again.
But the great work here from Marsborne is with all that damage, they've taken so much space. Front jag, all of lane, all of mid, and that means Minus can be that late lurk to find a quick double. Completely opening up this map here for Wolfie to call around. And they're going to end on this B bomb site, just charging up through lane, go right at Cryptic, and they're going to see what they can find. Smoke in through long side, smoke up on short, but players with you chill out means that Junior has a chance to fight, and he goes down through the smoke. CJ will also find a little bit more of a fight back, and so will Cryptic through the floorboards. And as the dust settles, it's still a 2v1 for Marsborne. Cryptic can reorient himself. He can find a way to make this round work. The bomb still not having gone down gives a little bit more leeway. It's a tap on the bomb, no less. Steel figures it out, lands a body shot, brings Cryptic down to 7 HP, and MOTM will finally punch in the digits. 28 HP on the server as MOTM backs away into cave and now wants to flank the flanker.
Oh, this is sick. This is so sick. And look at Cryptic's just been waiting the whole time. He's expecting him to go for a big old swing. The Modem. This is what we love about him. He was someone that was inactive for such a long time, waiting to get back into a roster. These are things that he might be able to bring. And look at Cryptic has no idea at all. He's just trying to clear things out. Oh, what? No, Bottom! Oh, God, why? He went for a shot too late. There might be enough time here. He's able to burn it, but good God. What a weird and not pretty way to make it happen. You know what? But around's around. They'll get it, but just barely.
Dude, that looks so weird. It's like he saw the body for so long and then shot after it turned the corner. Like, I have no idea why that looked like that, but hey, MOTM with more impact in this game so far. Truly the man of the match for Marsborne as far as relevancy goes, because they would not be in this map if it wasn't for him. And sometimes you need that veteran-facing player to bolster up those younger players, and he's definitely doing that right now. Another save for Nouns as this gap between the two teams continues to shrink. 5 the difference now.
Yeah, it was a 10-2. I mean, this is where Nouns were. It was looking like they could have, speed run their way through this ancient game, but Marsborne being able to find that pistol and just getting these rounds back to back to back has just been a good way for them to make this thing closer and closer. But I mean, this is still a dangerous territory. I mean, you got triple players in A main right now with the 5-7s. I mean, again, the bomb's not going there, but I mean, this is still not a great position. And Modem looks at the wrong time. I mean, that might be a gun given up here. We'll have to see, because there's still some armor equipped on these guys, and now they're going to be able to try to go for it. Modem, perfect placement. I don't know how he gets away with it. I thought he would have been at least traded, but luckily for him, he was able to get himself some good control of the recoil. This round should be over and done with. Maybe a little bit of a casualty here and there, but who cares? It's fine. It's only one. It's going to be minus, but here we go. Another important round here, going into round 17, where do we see Junior do something a little bit more adventurous, I'll say, with the ult?
He definitely could. But at this point, I mean, they're not getting any bit of map control. It's like the roles have been completely reversed. And I think for Marsborne, it's looking even better, where they're getting up to Red Room at a minute 30. You're getting all the way through lane at a minute 30. It's got to be an all-out mid attempt here from Nouns, and they absolutely will. They'll send 2 players in. They'll have a 3rd player in terms of utility, but that's where Wolfie calls the switch up in the pace. They go at this A bomb site straight at Junior's AWP. He finds one. He finds a second as well to kind of just shave off these players one by one. Finally, Minus puts him to the ground. And as the dust settles, Minus has another opportunity. He could have spotted out ahead there, but he can't capitalize on it. Instead, he'll re-smoke. He'll recock his gun back, and finally he'll find his man. Lurk as well from MOTM, but Lurk's on Lurk. See Cryptic getting into the A main action as well. Finally, MOTM can activate with 1 into the 2v2 with a minute 5 on the clock. And they've got to slow the pace of the round down, Marsborne. They've got to figure out where these CTs have gone up to. The key question on their mind is, where is Rush?
Yeah, and he's made his presence known. A little bit of a peekaboo, gets down Minus, and now it's all down to Modem. He's already found himself 1 duel so far. A little bit of a late CT smoke. Oh, get your damn gun out. He's trying to throw so much utility just to push back Rush, but he's just going to get annihilated. But look, Nouns, once again, got to thank Junior. They're going to be able to retrieve that off. I love the fact that he went for that secondary fight. That was the one player just trying to push into the bomb site. He was able to take him out. I mean, him just trying to stay alive as long as possible was perfect, because it allowed the CTs to get the rotate through. Their positioning was so much better. Even that flank as well from Cryptic, that was important, right? I mean, he was able to just, you know, stab them in the back essentially, and Marsborne were just even scrambling more to what to do in this round, or the following round, I should say. So now we see once more, round number 18. Things are, they were looking pretty good, but Minus, I don't know how the hell he wins that fight. I thought the MP9 surely might have been able to find it, but takes him out with a big amount of damage. So they'll take this dual Paladin, but now, I mean, it's a question if they can kind of keep things moving on. Chop not able to find another duel. This guy cannot buy a frag.
And it's such an inopportune time. He would have loved to capitalize, at least to go 1 for 1 there. But not to be. Wolfie decides to kind of fill that void that Chop left behind and try to re-clear B. And re-clearing the B lane at this point is super dangerous. You got troubles lurking around every corner. But they're splitting into this B bomb site very effectively. Steel is trying to sell a little bit of a something into this A side. He's kept 3 players on that side of the map. It's still only Junior here. He's got to put up another multi-kill, and his barrel has been spotted by his counterpart. What a shot there from Wolfie, as a bomb will go down into the 3v3. It's another retake required for Nouns.
It definitely is. And again, I mean, they got the Molly and the flash available here, but how are they going to use this? Now that piece of utility going to be gone. Rush seeing what he's going to be able to find. A kit is going to be picked up. So they do have time a little bit on their hands, but Modem holding the tightest angle. I feel like this is not a forgiving one, and oh god, he's already made his presence known. Look at Pete. He's able to find one, able to find that second, and now Minus needs to do something massive here with the AWP. Just tucking his tail, hiding behind the corner, waiting as long as possible. Everybody fake defusing, and there it is. Marsborne are going to be able to run away with this round. What is going on?
Oh, they bungled that so bad, Nouns. I mean, you've got 2 different players trying to defuse the bomb. That doesn't make any sense. You've got a player already helping you. Watch that angle. They know he's stuck in that cubby. They know it. He can't be anywhere else. and still they give him a window to swing out. Why does the diffuser ever get off the bomb in that situation? I couldn't tell you, Laz. Marsborne, by the skin of their teeth, are showcasing the grit and tenacity that makes this team so exciting.
That's why we say, you know what, kids, you know, when you're playing your games, you're playing your pugs, it doesn't matter the scoreline. You got to make sure that every round counts. Again, it was a 10-2. It was a 10-2, and look at the scoreline we're at now. And now you can see Nouns a little bit pissed off, a little bit angry. They're just going to swing at a cave. They're going to be able to find that first duel. Chop just can't seem to find any, again, duels in his favor, unfortunately. Now, back to an even Stevens here with a 4-4. CJ in a decent position with a 5-7. Can't be able to find it. Minus will be able to get that double bite, and now Cryptic will just have to save the AK. So it was looking like Nouns, maybe we're going to be able to find something in this round number 19, maybe be able to be a little bit more tenacious, but unfortunately, they get tamed down.
And that's where Wolfie calls for a faster play. He tries to up the tempo a little bit more, and he's just been really shadow boxing against Cryptic very well. Even in that round where, you know, Junior has the double kill and they eventually win out their first CT round on that A site, I still think that call was stellar. I've not really had any issues with the way Wolfie's been seeing the game. And Cryptic's really got his work cut out for him. He's been doing well individually, but at this point, the name of the game for him is just trying to get all his ducks in a row and make sure that the players are playing around this defense as smartly as possible. And it's just not coming to be, man. I mean, just these clutch situations really looking shaky and janky. I'm going to take another tack timeout, get a Trent on the mic, have that veteran presence to kind of calm their nerves down a little bit. It's always something that he's been very good at, is to be a little bit more easygoing and make players feel comfortable in the server, regardless of scoreline.
Yeah, no doubt at all. I mean, Adren is definitely someone that's well experienced and massive resume, so we don't even need to talk about it. But yeah, hopefully he's going to be able to give some sweet words here for the timeout to see what they can do to motivate these guys getting across that finish line. 2 rounds needed, and that's it here for that first best of 1. But Marsborne have definitely putting the money where the mouth is a little bit here. I never would have thought we'd be in this kind of a scoreline where, I mean, there's a world where we could be seeing a tie game depending on, you know, how fast Marsborne could be able to pick these rounds up. That's all a matter of here to see how round number 20 works out. Marsborne looking like they want to commit for the B hit potentially. Already having the nades getting thrown here. That's going to be on to Wolfie. Having that utility buckled, ready to go. Now it's going to go for the big swing. They're trying everything through this smoke, but the first engagement is going to benefit here from the T side. DJ doing a ton of tenderizing. He's only able to find this 1 kill. Now at least he can keep his life intact. Now we're starting to see T's pushing a little bit back now, but Marsborne finally just unleashing the utility, the reign of terror. They're going to get themselves in this site, but Junior causing more disruption once again. The plant's going to get denied, and dear God, more spam kills somehow, some way, and Nouns finally put themselves on that point.
That is so brutal for Marsborne. They had such a good call there. They smoked the front of Jag straight out of spawn, and they know that there's a gap in that smoke. They know that there's going to be shelf aggression. They punish that. They reroute back to the B bomb site through elbow, and they get the site as well. Every spam going into CT's favor. If that bomb goes down, who knows what happens for Marsborne? Surely at that point they've got a shot at converting and pulling that game a little bit closer, but just so happened for there to be a little bit more of a lucky break for Nouns. The spam's just right for them, and they've got the most ripe, opportune time here to close out this map, put all of this comeback nonsense to bed with 3 Tech 9s or 2 Tech 9s and an SMG on the other end of the server.
At least they can finally get themselves out of B main door, right? I mean, they're going to be able to get a little bit more control out of this, but triple player into B, leaving that A site pretty much just in the hands of Peeping. He's going to play all the way back in CT spawn. So Nouns are playing a bit more of a passive setup here through mid and towards A. Now they've just abandoned this A site, leaving for Junior to be in Donut. So again, he's still got his presence known here, but again, that bomb's still leaning on this B side. 58 seconds remaining. Nobody's been dropped. Nobody's been taken down to the grave yet. I feel like that's a world record here for this game alone. I feel like everybody's been just getting eradicated within seconds. Now Junior, 3 bullets left in the chamber, only gonna have enough for 1 kill. These AKs are finally connecting on the heads. They're gonna get themselves in this A site. 4 on 3 now for Marsborne. Can they be able to lock this down? Steel running and gunning a little bit here with the MAC-10. Rush and CJ, a tough task in hand. They got the kits. They have 1 PC utility available. They gotta save this damn thing.
There is just no route in, especially after you've lost Red Room, but I mean, there's really no safety to try and get out. Finally, Chop gives him a little bit a way back in. Steel will be there to take 1 gun away, and Steel will find out the second. CJ stuck in spawn, and MOTM will try to take him out here, but will fail to do so. So 3 rounds now between overtime and a map win for Nouns. Again, this time it's Modem to open things up on that A site. And again, man, these reads have just been so good from Wolfie. He's finding the site with less players. He's pushing some of these individuals to try and get multi-kills, and he just... in some situations, the rounds that he's lost, it's just he can't do anything about it. It just happens to kind of fall out of favor, but he's really keeping them in this right now.
I mean, you almost love to see it too for someone like Modem, right? I mean, the fact that, like I said, he's been kind of inactive for a little while and finally gets himself on a team, and I've been waiting for it for a long time. Always remember back in the ATK days, and him just sitting at a 24 and 15. Putting so much influence into the server. CJ still being able to show his influence. Getting that first engagement. Oh my god, even Minus taking so much damage. And they're just trying to shoot through smokes. They're trying to shoot through everything. It's just spam galore right now. And now Marsborne, they're actually going to have to kind of backpedal this a little bit on B main. Give this up. And Nouns have done such a good job to put up a force field.
They cannot lose this round, Nouns. This is a 5v4. This is mid-control established. They've cleared out front jag as well. They've got a double setup there. And they're playing a little bit more of a retake setup on this A side, and it's totally fine. CJ can take a little bit of that first contact. I mean, he doesn't even necessarily have to. He can just play for the retake, play that man advantage, the trade game. And eventually, PP has realized, you know, we've cleared out Red Room. We've got that front lane control, and we've not heard anything. It's got to be this A site. There's nowhere else that Marsborne could be on the map right now. And now they lean 4 players strong to this end. Cryptic slightly leaning that way as well. No. Here comes that utility. What can Marsborne do to kind of break through? Nothing, it seems. Junior finds himself 1, rushes at the back of the site, and he'll find 1 more. Peeping there to chime in. And now it's the captain. It's Wolfie in the 1v2, but his back is turned. Cryptic finds him. It's a grueling one, but at the end of the day, now still come out on top at 13-9 with 94 ADR from Junior.
Yeah, not a bad game at all for Junior. I mean, he was the one that was sitting at a 14-8 at one point in the first half, so the fact that we're still seeing him putting up, you know, 21 and 17, not bad at all. And that's the thing, like, I've been really happy to see Junior's been playing a lot better individually. I feel like even without an op, he's still finding himself a lot of situations with duels that are going into his way, just finding a little bit better positioning as well. So it is a good improvement we're seeing from Nouns, despite all the things that are kind of happening outside of the server for these guys. They're able to push through with a dub, right? And Marsborne, unfortunately, continuing their loss streak on a map like Ancient. But again, Paladin, it's coming into close quarters, right? These are 13-9 losses, 16-4 losses. Like, they're almost there. There just seems to be some weaknesses that were happening in the first half that really just felt like they could not get out of the quicksand.
Yeah, I do think that somebody like Grizz might have been able to help out there, especially with a pivotal position like Cave. But I think it's just the nature of the map. You know, sometimes your defense isn't clicking, and it's just a tough situation. But anyways, we've still got another map to go in this series of best of ones between Nouns and Marsborne. We'll see if they can split best of ones here, or whether Nouns can continue their hot streak and bound up the standings here in ECL Season 49. We'll see in a little bit.
Think you've seen it all? With Faceit Watch's Point of View Selector, you can experience the game from any pro's perspective. Use the multi-view feature and customize the stream with up to 4 angles. control what points you see while earning rewards. Drops are activated and lucky winners will receive Face It points. And if you ever miss a match, VODs are now available. Get instant access to demos with multiple POVs and commentary. Watch it, control it, face it.
Damn, guys, we almost had this.
Thank God it's over.
Bored of endless matchmaking? Take your first step towards ECL, experiencing real strategies against teams of your skill. Learn more at fce.gg/ECL.
Yeah. La 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 la. Yeah. Your life hits hard, but I hit right back. I never back down. I keep it on track. It's the same day with no problems. I keep rising from the bottom. Cause when the sun comes up and I look around, I can feel that love, I can hear that sound. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now, and then I need to worry about, cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright. It's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe, cause I got no problems. Yes, every day was a war. Yeah, it kinda took a while. When they tell me I should stay, I just jump with a smile. Yeah, it's hard until you notice. Everybody's got their moment. When the sun comes up and I look around, I can feel that love, I can hear the sound. Listen up. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now, and then I need to worry about, cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright. It's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe, cause I got no problems. Cause I got no problems. Cause I got no problems. Do you feel a little down? Say it. No problems. Let you in, but you out. Sing it. No problems. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now. Have none I need to worry about, cause I got no problems. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now. Have none I need to worry about, cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright. It's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe, cause I got no problems. I pack my suitcase, headed out the door. I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home. A couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
Miles past, turning back, found my track, face the fact, she a cold one. Never gonna settle for none. Stay up every night till I won. Don't want a slow rise now. I'm confident opulence isn't a long ride out. When I look back now, I'm astounded. A quiet boy from old age, but always thought the world was a stage, yeah. I celebrate one last late night. My old life, they stay. I
pack my suitcase, headed out the door. I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home. A couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
I'm headed to LA. I'm headed on my way. I'm headed on my way to LA. Headed on my way soon.
Couple thousand miles, throw it on the dash. Shit, 10,000 hours, can't let them pass. Yeah, well, I was putting time in, you was pulled up wildin'. You always had shit to say, now when I see you, it's silence. Thought I'd have a Grammy by 25. Commas after commas next to dollar sign, yeah. To remind myself why I'm living this life. Look at all the late nights, it'll all come in due time, yeah.
Made for the fight, for the pain and the climb. Tied to the life I chose. Stay through the night, another day, not a dime. Race against time. I couldn't just lay by and wonder what I could have made mine. I'm closing on the moment, no one's gonna hold me down.
I pack my suitcase, headed out the door. I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home. A couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're here for ESL Challenger League and North America NA, baby, and you're with Laz and Paladin for the second best of one here. And now it is going to be, again, a little bit of a rematch, if you want to call it that, of Nouns and Marsborne, where Nouns were able to get things done on Ancient, but now it's a question about Dust 2. And I don't know about you, Paladin, but I'm not really feeling too great about this map here for Marsborne.
I mean, Dust 2 is kind of where Cryptic has been relying his wins off of, and I think they'll be happy to go to this map on a regular basis. For Marsborne, I've also seen some nice results from them here as well. Not too long ago, playing against Nouns in the Dallas Close qualifier, they pushed them to a 16-14 loss, and I'll tell you what, I had a Wolfie 1v5 in there. I had some crazy Grizz moments in there, and it was a brutal loss. But I'll tell you that there's a lot of playmaking opportunities here for Wolfie on this map, specifically with his 5 men. And I think it's still going to be a tough ask for Nouns. I think it's still going to be a good matchup for them, though. I still think that this is comfort for them. If I have to give an edge, I'll give it slightly towards Nouns. But don't count out Marsborne here. I'm just excited to see this rematch on Dust 2, with or without Grizz.
Yeah, it's a good point, right? I mean, I think, you know, again, I hate saying like Dust 2 is like more forgiving, but I feel like there can be a bit more opportunities where I'm kind of looking for Wolfie to be able to see what he can bring to the table for this, because again, Ancient's not, I feel like the easiest op map, like it definitely can be, but I think Dust 2, there's going to be a lot more opportunity for that. So I think that Junior versus Wolfie matchup will be very, very interesting. But look, we started seeing Marsborne playing a little bit better, obviously, in that second half. They really came alive. I mean, they looked like they just kind of were like a phoenix. They just rise to the ashes, but it was just too little too late. But maybe now they can get themselves another pistol round. They can get things kind of moving a little bit better, because we saw that scoreline that was originally a 10-2 in favor for Nouns. It got pretty close where the game finally ended at a 13-9. So that's the thing. I mean, but Marsborne have been able to find themselves in a losing category on this map. It's been kind of like all over the place in terms of like what they've been able to do. You know, previously playing each other on this map with a 16-14 loss for, you know, for the Dallas qualifiers. Not bad at all. So these guys have a lot of history. So we'll have to see how much reinventing they've done. And the other thing, and the other caveat is that Grizz isn't here. So that's also kind of another thorn in the side here for Marsborne.
Yeah, I think it definitely does have to come down to what can Chop do? I mean, he was completely absent on Ancient. I felt like he was going down this rabbit hole of some poor decisions as well towards the tail end, swinging to try and get extra kills when he knows that he probably shouldn't. And that's the kind of tough thing when you have a score line like that. You kind of think that you have to make up for it by being a little bit more aggressive, trying to be a little bit more rambunctious and see if you can just get your foot in the door KD wise, and it just never happened. But I've got to see him have a little bit more of a level head, especially with the roles that he has on this team. He's got to be that like lightning rod that can get through any kind of situation, no matter what's being thrown at him. And if he can't do that, then he's just not up to snuff. And it's a hard pill to swallow, but you definitely need for him to have a little bit more impact in that regard. We'll see what he can do here on Dust 2. I have a little bit more hope for him. I think he can hold down that B bomb site pretty well, but we'll see what Nouns have in store on that T side. Oop. We're gonna need a little bit more time until we get Chop on the server.
Yeah, you know, it's a really good point you bring up, because like I always feel kind of bad like with, you know, kind of picking on Chop with like a low performance like that, right? Where I think we've seen him in the past where he has been able to have stellar games, where he has been able to, you know, have some really good performances. I feel like more lately, I would argue, I don't think we've really seen that from him. I think he really does need to find his form a little bit. I didn't think this last game was a good demonstration. Obviously, nothing worked. And like you said, a lot of the decision making was kind of a bit of all over the place. And that probably comes into the effect of individually, you're just not playing at any sort of level you should be near. But I mean, look, we're on another best of one. This is where you have to have that reset. You have to be able to clear your mind, ignore what happened. Hopefully he was able to kind of just do whatever he needed to do for getting himself ready for a map like Dust 2. But I agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. Like, he is definitely in the position where he needs to be able to bring a little bit more heat, because he was definitely cooled off. And that was a big problem here for Marsborne. When you're playing essentially like a 4-on-5, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, definitely this kind of situation. Now starting on that T side, and we saw the kind of work that Cryptic did when he's been able to up the tempo and really get in the faces of the defense. And we'll see what he'll do on Dust 2. Much slower affair this time around, but the split is looking good. Smoke flash available for Cryptic here, but there's an instant rotation. There's an instant flank here from Minus. Back's turned, and yes, that B smoke is dropped, but they've lost the bodies as well, and Chop is cleaving through the upper tunnels. This is an open and shut case for Nouns until CJ and Junior kind of were back to life here. Chop is finally there, but he's finally, equalized his kills from that previous map? So off to a good start.
I was wondering who was going to do it. I'm like, is it going to be him or is it going to be me that's going to say that line? And I'm like, oh, thank you, Paladin. But yes, you're right. And look, what better way than the pistol round, right? I mean, he got some really clean shots. He was able to just, again, stop the offense here from Nouns, just allowing more time to be gained for the rotates. So I love that he didn't get over aggressive and swinging, which he never should be in that position. But he played that pretty much picture perfect. He did everything he needed to, put himself with a triple. That's definitely going to be a boost of confidence. Junior trying to see what he's going to be able to find. We talked a lot about him. He was able to have himself a really good performance on the first best of one. Top on the boards. You know, he's 21 frags. Really high ADR. So he had himself a bit of a field day. Can he do it again? But I loved, again, to see Marsborne just making sure they keep their composure on this. They got to make sure they don't overextend, just considering what they're going against here, right? I mean, you got those pistols to worry about. But hopefully they don't overstep their footing. But so far, looking so good.
Some solid scout tags from Junior here, but no kills. And that doesn't put enough pressure on these defenses to break up and seek out different avenues. And that's the real issue here for Nouns. Instead, they're going to try to waltz their way out of middle, or at least search for something out middle. They regroup back to short. Flash is good to allow Chop to get some info. There's no real short presence here from the CTs, or even fighting for it. They're happily okay with giving it up, but CJ's crossed back and forth to potentially give some info. Finally, a kill going for Junior, and Cryptic is there with the Glock as well. This A bomb site is open for business. These headshot angles are tough ones to hit for Steel. And with that, the C4 hits the dirt, and now they're going to swarm Steel. Junior will find two with the scout. What incredible shots there from the hero sniper. And Rush will find one more with the Glock. What an unlikely round win there for Nouns.
Yeah, make it stop. Like, my God, I was saying so far so good. No, these guys, I jinxed them. Caster Curse, I have no idea, but I don't know. Junior just doing a lot of good tag damage. The fact they're able to get up catwalk like that. Oh, dear goodness. Marsborne, man, that's a tough pill to swallow. That is a round you should never lose any time. And now Nouns put themselves in a position of who knows what to expect out of this game now, Paladin. But look, Marsborne going to have to bounce back. They're going to have to figure out a way to just persevere through this. And already having Bottom pushing all the way through mid, he's got himself some good information. They know that Nouns are nowhere near in mid control. So they've been able to split this off. But Nouns, they're getting this long A control. It's only Steel. He's the only threat right now with a 5-7 on a far range. Not going to be an advantage at all.
Yeah, and yes, Marsborne has split this map in half, but a long scale is still a very effective tactic that can get Nouns over the line. And they're going to toss that first little smoke here for the cross, and that'll dish out Steel's flash on the other end. Look at that. Modem has jumped the gun here and already given up the jig. Chop, Wolfie, they'll spot out the rest of these T-side players. Peeping CJ, they'll find every man that they're looking for. The long scale is sublime. And now get themselves their second, no questions asked. It's a bit brutal, especially considering how that last round had ended, that they're just going to have to save now.
Yeah, they kind of felt like just getting that map control. Like I was thinking, yeah, like look, you cut it right down in half. I was thinking they could have been in a decent position, slowly kind of, go for the flank and maybe just try to crunch something. But I mean, I think the fact that there's pistols, you're going against long A corridor, like not going to be a really great scenario when you have those kind of weapons in your favor. But look, Nouns, regardless of the storm, they weather it really, really well. They're not going to lose a body here. They're going to be able to just keep all the guns preserved. But, I mean, Modem, like you said, he felt like he kind of got a little bit hot in his heels. I thought that could have been a good play for him if he waited just a little bit longer. But nonetheless, look, the armor's going to be saved. The MP9 is going to be saved. And that money now still looking pretty much in the dumpster. Not looking good. It's pretty much, it's straight trash. What am I talking about? It's nowhere near good. But what do we see differently, right? We saw them go mid before. They tried to get something. Do they fight for this long A control, leave the one player in pit, and just kind of go for a Hail Mary of a stack? I mean, there's a couple options available here, Paladin.
Yeah, there is, but none of them are really good. Is the issue. You see how Marsborne want to deal with this. They'll rush through lower, and that's where the T side is already here to kind of slow this offense down. This defensive offense. But Nouns deal with that no problem. They cut off every corner as soon as possible. They only lose one body, which is the most important. Marsborne will purchase back into this one, but this T side, off the back of just a hero scout, has absolutely word to life and doesn't show any current signs of stopping. Straight away going out for long control as well, lads.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking, look, they're just going to send it. They're just going to try to get this long A control. Some good utility that's going to block things off. Steel tries to get cheeky, tries to do a little bit of a play. He gets eaten alive, and they lose the first man, Marsborne, within seconds of the round. And Nouns, great take. Now, I mean, they don't even have to commit to this if they don't want, but it looks like they are just going to try to do this. They're going to go for the connector smoke. Wolfie's trying everything he can, throwing a little bit of counter utility, waiting for his comrades to be able to join him, but it's only going to be Modem close on by. The last two, they're still waiting in B tunnel. They think somebody's lurking. They got to get the reinforcements here now. Things are looking too slow. They don't have their laces tied, and I think Marsborne, they might just have to save this. They've lost the site. They don't really have much to work with. Minus gets himself a little bit of a prize, maybe, but this is not enough to work with here, Paladin.
Peeping has just played an incredible round of Counter-Strike, man. Playing in that B tunnels, tossing utility in, causing two players to try and clear out that tunnels. Instead of actually fighting, he backs all the way up. He smokes off the upper tunnels from the T entrance, backs all the way through spawn, and finally dies in mid. But, I mean, his job is already done. He's sold so many rotations that Nouns get to scale through long with only 2 players on that A bomb site. And we've seen long scales work with 4 players, with 5 players on the CT side there to deal with the problem. It's going to be difficult as hell to try and stop the T side from scaling with only 2 players and no util to speak of.
Yeah, and again, I just don't love these positions that we see Marsborne go for. Like on Ancient, we saw, you know, it'd be like 1 player in middle on their CT side that was just trying to fight for mid. This last round we just saw alone, it was Steel by himself. He was trying to, you know, sneak himself in the smoke and see if he might be able to catch somebody off guard and maybe make a hero play. But again, I just love to see them commit a little bit more of that trade opportunity. I feel like it's lackluster, to say the least. But Rush equipped with a big green, you don't get to see that very often. Had the best spawn. He thought he might have been able to find that opening duel. No such luck. Marsborne actually just don't even entertain the idea of long A control here, Paladin. Instead, they actually have the right idea. They got everybody close on Cat. They're going to have Minus close on the mid on this one. Wolfie, oh god, that molly flushes him right the hell out. Now Nouns once again showing us that phenomenal utility work, and they're just winning duels left, right, and center.
Oh my god, Junior through the door! And then Peeping jumps up on an Xbox. The 3 rifles want to get involved, but they get a face full of lead the other way. What beautiful shoots. Shooting there from Junior. That was incredible. I mean, through the door, no less. That's just insane.
Yeah, it's just, you know, he's already doing so much work before we can even get our words out, right? I mean, that's the thing where Junior, if he can play like this level, it's just, how do you stop this guy? Like, the guy's off the leash. He's just biting everybody. So now maybe we'll see something. Wolfie hasn't been able to find himself any sort of a duel at all in this game yet. He's sitting at a 0-6, but he's got the big green. This is what we've been waiting for. We wanted to see this op versus op, and seeing Peeping now, he's going to go for the aggressive peek on this with the best spawn, but he's gonna be able to fall back, takes a bit of damage, but it goes back to Junior, and Marsborne do at least find a little bit of control in the map, but they're not even going to keep it, Paladin. It looks like they might have backed off. Instead, Steel might hold on. Finally, a little bit of something here for Marsborne.
They keep wanting to nade open this mid smoke, and they really paid the price in some previous rounds. Still stalwart in that regard, but short control established here for Nouns. Solid nade to bring CJ down to 9, and Wolfie will find his first kill of the map. Brings it to that man advantage situation for the CTs. A split on the cards here for Nouns, but it's very slow, it's very methodical, and I don't think they have the manpower or the time to be this methodical. And as the clock continues to expire, they're going to have to make some tough decisions. They're going to have to go through a smoke. They might have to go in dry somewhere, but they've got so much utility that eventually they've got to go and use that. 30 seconds now, and still not a muscle moved from Nouns. Finally, the avant-garde smokes are dropped in, and they want to go through that A execution, but a player on long side and a player on the A site to deal with.
Yeah, and it's Steel, right? I mean, again, in the position where that flash actually does connect him a little bit. Rush making a ton of noise. Steel has to win this fight. It's either trigger this one or go for the fight. He's going to go for it. He's going to be able to win the 2. So Steel finds something with 9 seconds remaining. The ball has to go down, and Wolfie with a little bit of a jumping shot. And that's going to be a round gain for Marsborne. Why not?
I mean, that round was probably going to be Marsborne's anyway, but what little bit of confidence to add to Wolfie's resume there.
A little bit of phase action right there, you know what I'm saying? Like, not bad at all.
Yep. That's what you like to see. And Nouns, again, I think they might have had to pull the trigger just a little bit quicker. But again, that does require you taking some significant risks, and I don't think that they were willing to take any of those risks, especially in a man disadvantage scenario. But sometimes when you are a man down, I think that's the best opportunity to try and swing your odds in your favor by taking a risk like that. Speaking of risks, Peeping has made his way all the way out in middle, completely dry. Wolfie is watching the angle, but still goes down to Peeping. Huge work from the anchor, and Peeping's found another player on scaffolding. He's going to try to molly him out. He's going to... That was expecting a kill, but Minus still finds him with 9 HP to spare.
Yeah, I don't know how he gets away with not, getting that secondary kill. But now Steel, he's got himself equipped with the op. Okay, Steel, a little bit of vintage. We've been able to see this back in the history books, and he shows us a little bit more. The old dog still got it. So now Marsborne on the 3-on-2, and these T's are split apart from each other. You can see that CJ's all the way in B. He's like, look, man, can you get back here? Because I got a free B site, and now Junior's going, no, I got people all over me right now. I'm going to drop the bomb. I can't find a duel. And now CJ has to go for a big old hunt here with 45 seconds. But let's not forget, Chop and Minus, they're low. Modem's got full HP. Lots of utility available right now for Chop. CJ has to be able to make a big play here. He has that utility available in his utility belt. He might be able to flush these guys out. Time is dwindling, and Monum going to be able to use the body, gets himself an easy duel. Op should be picked up and retrieved, and a bit of a weird round from Nouns, but if Junior might have been able to find a duel there, maybe things could have been opened up just a little bit, but again, good work for Marsborne.
Multiple routes to act there for Nouns, especially if Junior could get back in a lower, but just more proactivity from Marsborne. Steel trying to take that opening sight line down the short side. And then the reorientation through middle, through that Xbox to try and get involved as well. But things are not going to get any easier here for Marsborne as Junior finds his counterpart. CJ wants to up the tempo alongside Peeping. They have no idea if players gone up the car, but that spam should tell everything. Peeping with another key kill here on Dust 2. Long scale now imminent. Cross smoke through, Molly in the car. And they just freeze. They throw all that utility and they completely halt the brakes.
I like it. I actually really like this because, again, they still have that utility available, right? Junior still has a smoke available, so does Peeping and CJ. So these guys are just going to redo this. Just trying to see if they can catch the CTs kind of hesitating themselves. They actually didn't really overextend the other way. They're actually still committed to this. Minus just kind of floating in middle, expecting a bit of a lurk. Still waiting things out. So Nouns are still kind of playing some mind games. All that utility from the CT side is starting to get thrown. Look at Nouns. They're still posted up. They're just hanging out. They're just waiting. They ain't moving a muscle.
Well, here comes that final smoke. They've thrown 3 of them. And finally, the third one is actually pulled Minus away into the middle in case they rotate. But MOTM will have that first signal. He'll find his first kill. MOTM now plays around that side smoke to find a second. And things start to get a little bit hot under the collar for Nouns. Players are arriving at the scene. Chop is finding more impact, and they're rotting the clock. Chop is doing so much in this round, but in the 1v2, Junior steps up. That AK sings, and Nouns finally get another one back on the board after that Marsborne run back.
Yeah, I mean, again, I love that Marsborne. Again, they did so much good work. Like the fact that Modem was able to throw the smoke in the site that allowed him to get that reposition into Goose. I was thinking, look, that might have been just enough. His teammates were able to get his back as well. But, I mean, the fact that Junior's sitting at 11-4, the guy is sitting at 113 ADR. He is trying to make a statement right now. But a big round indeed. Now it's going to switch things up, maybe even entertaining the idea of a good old B hit. But they got a 3-1-1 setup on this. They're going to have that B tunnel control. And we've seen them just kind of, dismiss these smokes just like that. They just run on in. They don't care about your utility. They're just going to hold W. They're just going to take what they want, and there you go. It's a free site. Now the CTs, Paladin, I don't even know. It's a 4-on-4. They could try to go for this if they want, but it looks like they're just going to give it up. They're not even going to go for it. Just considering their money is not in the greatest position, Rush might be able to find himself a consolation prize. He does. Maybe 2. Why not? He's going to take this off away, and Rush just doing great work as the lurk, and Marsborne falling apart once again.
And it's a very inopportune time to lose these guns. I mean, they've got no cash to splash. They had a little bit of runway after scrounging up a couple rounds in a row, but I mean, this is the potency of Peeping. He's only 7-7 in this game, but his impact has been absolutely immense in terms of cracking open bomb sites, in terms of causing miscoms from the CTs and causing some insane rotations. He's done a lot of great work on this team, and we talked about his potency on Timberman. Was given a lot of terrible positions on that map, still made it look good, and then every call-up that he's had since, he's just looked better and better. Such a prized possession, a crown jewel of sorts in the rising North American talent, and I'm glad that a team of Nouns' caliber has been able to utilize him a little bit in this team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Oh God, are Nouns gonna do it again? Okay, good. I was thinking, no way. We're not doing it. We're not doing a repeat. We're not doing a deja vu, right? Okay, they're gonna hold back a little bit. And that bomb in the back skirts a mid here. Just kind of by palm tree waiting things out. I mean, again, like these guys feel like they've been able to, take a lot of map control dry, right? I mean, they had that one round where Peeping was able to come through mid, just finds himself an easy kill. Modem's going to be close on by on the catwalk. He does have his teammate a Wolfie here. That Molly's going to push him out. They're going to hear that noise cue. Just caught Wolfie enough. Minus, oh God, oh no. You got to keep that gun fully equipped and fully reloaded. Oh, now this is just a full-on firefight. But the CTs, they are starting to win these engagements. Modem able to find himself a double. And now all down to Rush. The veteran of this team, but he's going to fall, and Marsborne finally get themselves something here in round 11.
I see the idea there now, and they really wanted to play with the reloads, hoping that the spam that has been coming through those mid-smokes repetitively, maybe they could kind of contact their way through, as Peeping has been getting a lot of space there, but this time there's a second player to deal with that problem. They deal with that contact threat, and then you've got MOTM and a second player off of Cat as well. I mean, they were well into that situation. They understood everything that was coming. What a shot from Junior. I have no idea what he saw in that situation, but his scout has been electric.
Oh, man. He's just fully electric. Yeah, I mean, this, like, is he gonna, okay, I was like, is he honestly gonna get, oh my god! I'm out! Get me the hell out of here! What is happening in this game, man? Oh, it's just the Junior show. Just keep it on Junior the whole time, please. This guy just doesn't miss, apparently. Oh, dear God. Now it's gonna go for the cat control, leaving the lurk here onto long A, which would be Steel. So there's only 2 players to go for this fight. Steel's just trying to see if he can find this fight. He knows somebody's there, but Chalk goes for a swing. It's a labored spray, and it's all down to Steel, the last man standing. And man, they've done it again, Paladin. They just toy with him, and he gets distracted. And Nouns should have this one in the bag.
His Junior Scout has just single-handedly won 2 rounds. You'd like to think it's the vet from Steel in the clutch. He's got one isolated duel, but Peeping only shows his head. He gets himself Nouns' 8th. We're going to throw it to a quick break, and when we come back, can Nouns close out this clean sweep?
Okay, we're back and we're ready to go, and it's the second half, 8-4 here, where Nouns were just letting Junior just do his thing. 1,000 damage over the course of the first half, a 14-6 score line, and he's the only guy that was able to get double digits here, Paladin. So was Marsborne able to find some kind of strategy to slow him down? I guess we'll find out.
I don't think there's much you can do when Junior's feeling the game like this. He's read this B play right now straight away. MOTL, or Minus rather, trying to sell something from short, but he's been dealt with, and now they know that the rest of the cavalry are coming to this B-bomb site. Cryptic is there for the crossfire, and Junior can just kind of tuck his head here, wait for the rest of his teammates to get to that B-bomb site, and Rush will decapitate the final frag. Nouns get themselves their 9th, and they don't really have to break a sweat, Plaz.
Yeah, it's pretty easy, right? I mean, just, again, normal work for these guys. It feels like those pistol rounds kind of going back and forth. I mean, it was Marsborne that were able to get the first. Now these guys are right back at it. Not bad at all. And Nouns, okay, look, I just can't ignore that we saw the first half where the second round, I mean, it came right back, right? I mean, I think that was Nouns that was able to bring it back, where they had Glocks, and I think Junior with the only, a scout or something like that. So, look, I mean, Marsborne just hanging out. Full default round for them. No dollars spent. They're just hanging. So, I mean, I don't expect the same thing here, Paladin, but the way that we've just seen this game go, like, I'm going to give some possibility, but I'm going to say it's a lot lower than before.
I mean, there was a scout in that round at least, so no shenanigans should occur in this round whatsoever. I'm calling it. This round is already done. We'll see.
I like it.
If we'll see. Oh, is it bold? Is it bold? Chat, let me know. Is it bold?
No, it's not. It's not too bold. I mean, look, it's probably the right idea. There we go. Okay. They go into a meat grinder. They don't even entertain something here. They're just like, yeah, just go die. Just go long A, whatever. Who cares? Get it over with.
Double digits now found for Nouns. We've been here before. Nouns getting every inch in their favor and still cannot close. Let's see if they can do it a little bit cleanly. Not too many opportunities for Marsborne. Straight away, backs against the wall for Wolfie. We spoke about his posting even as an opera, but he's been quiet, and Minus at least will have to chime in. This B crunch doesn't work at all for Nouns. 3 players there to greet them. And Marsborne chew through the defense. They get themselves a B bomb plant. They start this comeback trail nice and early.
Yeah, I like the idea, right? I like that Nouns tried to do something like that with a bit of a crunch, just given what they had. I mean, they had the MP9s, they had some FAMASas, things like that. So I'm not against it, but yeah, it really just didn't work at all. Like, they only found one duel in their favor. Taking down minus the 35 is really not much at all to brag about. So, you know, big props to Marsborne being able to respond to this. And it almost kind of felt like they were expecting this, but which I was not really thinking they'd be ready for at all, because I don't think Nouns has really done that kind of play yet so far in these best of ones. But I do like the creativity on it, to say the least. But look, this M4 is going to be saved here from Junior. A little bit of the loss bonus will kick in for him. So he's going to be able to, you know, at least drop one of the guys, because Peeping's sitting at a 3100. So, I mean, Junior is in a position where he's got the armor ready, so he can get the big green ready to go. And, I mean, we've already seen what he's able to do with a scout. I mean, surely it's going to even be better with an AWP.
That's what you like to think, right? But the cheaters in my MM game seem to only be good with the scout. I'm not necessarily sure.
They just seem to be gods. Like, you know, like they don't miss.
They just know. They just know. How do they know? I'm not going to air out my dirty laundry on stream, right? Obviously.
That's okay. That's okay.
That's
We've
for
all been
you
there.
and I. That's for you and I.
We've all been there, Paladin. Don't worry.
Standard default for Marsborne here, and they're thinking about trying to get through middle straight away. The nade open for Peeping. He hears a lot of bodies. He sees a lot of bullets, but he can't do anything about it. He still wants to get up close and personal. Still wants to get involved. And Junior is here as well to potentially hit this cross shot. With the way he's been playing, don't be surprised if he nails it. He absolutely will. There you go. Minus hits the deck. And short's been claimed, but Marsborne still now in a 4v5 have got to go blind into some of these scenarios. And look at this, man. Rush also has got the clear sight line to get 1 kill in middle. Chop is caught on an island as he jumps up on the Xbox, but still lives to tell the tale. Junior rotates back around through long, and of course, there's no way you're going to expect Rush on that angle. This is just clinical stuff here from Nouns. And sure, MOTM's been sitting on this short control for half a round. Hasn't been able to do anything with it as all of his teammates fall beneath him. And now he's just got to do it himself, but Rush has now pushed through long. And it's just a suffocating round there from the defense.
I just feel like I was not expecting to see Nouns just perform this well. Like, I mean, we knew, like, on their Ancient, they were looking pretty good. But, man, oh, man, I feel like they've just gotten elevated, right? They're just getting better and better as the rounds progress. And I mean, I think that was a flawless round for these guys. Like, nobody dropped at all. And look, I mean, this is an important round. I mean, a lot of coins going to be spent here. I mean, Marsborne going to try again with the op. I mean, Wolfie's sitting at a 2-15. He's kind of putting a little bit of the chop factor from map 1, right? He's like not finding any impact on the server at all. And that's just, I mean, that just beats you up so much on so many different fronts. Bottom maybe looking to see if he might try to barrel through the smoke a little bit. Peeping playing the exact same position as before, but now these players have been able to make it across. Famos ready in hand. They just need the pop flash. Cryptic on a big decision if he's going to swing this or not. Shadow going to give it away, but it's a 1-1. Not bad.
Yeah, at least they disassemble that setup. Junior could have still had an opportunity to get very dangerous there. But in the 4v4, Marsborne take a little bit of a beat. They still want to hold on to short. They're considering rebounding back to middle, but Peeping has finally made his presence known. He's finally shown his hand, and Peeping would have loved to capitalize on that fleeing player, but can't find his mark. Has been having a struggle bus of a game, but he'll try to lead the troops regardless. They find a route out through the middle of the map. The mid of the CT smoke has been dropped. Peeping's going straight through. He wants to tussle. He wants to go straight in. He wants to call the bluff, but Wolfie finally hits the shot. It's all into CJ on this B bomb site. 35 seconds left on the clock. You're going to need at least 2 kills from him if you want to make a round out of this. But the spray is just a little bit off. And finally, Marsborne break through off the back of some solid shooting from Wolfie and some solid calling as well.
Yeah, good clearance on for Marsborne too. I mean, the fact that it was an empty site, like, I mean, a lot of teams might have even just kind of overlooked it, right? And thinking that their, Nouns went for a bit more of a heavy A or mid kind of control. But luckily for them, they just used that time they had available for them. They clear every single angle. Oh, it's Junior, dear God. It's a bit of a weird miss we haven't seen, but now, I mean, this is good for Marsborne. They're just going to go for the full hunt. I actually like this idea, just considering if they can remove this, this will be perfect. There we go. Not bad at all. Wolfie's going to get himself right back with an op. But a pretty good round for Marsborne. They respond to the threats pretty well. I was getting a little bit worried, Paladin. I don't know who it was in middle. They just kept swinging, trying to fight Junior, and I'm like, what are we doing? You have an M4 versus an op. Like, this is not good. This is not an even matchup, but somehow in some way they stay alive.
They hold down by the skin of their teeth. That's something that they're very good at. When the opponents hit that double-digit mark, it feels like they finally rev to life. But still 5 more rounds to cut down here before Nouns really feel the brunt of it. Long scale looking good so far. Drive-by shot from Junior connects. Solid chip damage is good. Junior still wants to stand and deliver, but he finally, I think his shoulder was spotted there. Chop clips him a little bit, and that molly finishes. He's here for the quick flank. He's the last man alive. Will clear out minus. Beautiful little kill there. Switches back to the SMG, back to the op again. He's gonna have to clear MOTM out though, and that's just a hard off angle to clear when you've got the sniper. And you can't do it. There's casualties all around in these rounds, but Marsborne are getting the bomb plants. They're still keeping enough bodies up, so they'll still have some cash to splash. And Nouns will still have to work for these final 2 rounds.
Yeah, it's definitely not over, right? I mean, that's what we, notice about Marsborne is, despite the score lines, they always seem to find themselves, surviving the skin of their teeth, like you said. We saw it on Ancient. We're starting to maybe see it a little bit here on Dust 2. And I think Wolfie was able to spot Peeping. I'm not sure if he actually just missed him or not, but it looked like he just caught him. And Peeping in a decent position here if he's not exposed. If they haven't been able to find this, it's a strong angle. And there's 3 players in the B tunnel right now just waiting things out. Doesn't look like they're really looking for the hunt. Junior going to try to help him out. Big old swing. Junior finds the connection. That 1-on-1 trade will come back through. So this is still not a bad note right now for Marsborne, but again, they got to fight for some map control. Long's going to be in the presence of Rush. And now the other players on the T side, they're just going to group up and go for a 3-1 split.
Peeping should have spotted 2 players on that death cam. It should have alerted Nouns to at least a potential rotation, but it's still only CJ here. He's been on an island a couple of times at this point. Choppa's going to elevate himself up onto the double box, but still doesn't find CJ in the car. That's a tough angle to clear, and he'll find himself a double, make that 3. Beautiful work there from the B anchor. He's had a tough go of it in some of these rounds. Hasn't been called upon too often in both of these maps, but finally finds that impact where it counts. And Modern will be off the save. Nouns have finally notched themselves map point, and it's a bit earlier than Ancient. There's still a little bit of money to go for Marsborne, but man, finally a little bit more decisiveness from Nouns here.
Yeah, it's definitely feeling like they're just connecting a lot of their decisions a little bit more quickly and seamlessly, right? So, I mean, even like just again, everybody able to find some individual plays, like even CJ just finding himself that triple in that kind of a position. Like normally it's kind of one of those positions that you might be able to get that double kill. You know, usually there can be a good trade, but really, really strong aim from him. I mean, this is a guy that's just kind of filling in too, right? I mean, that's what we were kind of talking about with this Nouns team and even for Marsborne, right? There's kind of these weird roster shuffles and kind of, you know, players just playing because they have to for the spot, things like that. But look, now we're on series point, map point right now for Nouns. Marsborne needing to get themselves a little bit more scrappy here. 5 rounds to push to an overtime. Galil's and AK's ready to go. Steel the scout. Steel got a little bit of a taste of blood here with the op, you know, in the first half. Now he's looking for a bit more. Nice tag onto Peeping. Not bad. Can the Canadian find a little more?
Need a lot more at this point. They're really hurting for an entry.
Nade.
Oh, that nade is good. He does push back Peeping on this double op setup all the way back to the doors. Junior will need to open the smoke on his own end, and these snipers will start to sing unless CJ and Cryptic steal all the kills. It's all up to the Canadian of Steel in the 1v5. The sub has done a decent job in keeping this at least a little bit competitive, but he's certainly out of his depth on this one. And Junior will finish the job. Nouns close it out 13-7 after a glorious performance here from Junior. That scout is one to really be remembered.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that, you know, in the first half he was sitting at a 14-6, finishes this map with 24-9 and, you know, over 113 ADR. Like, he had himself a great night. I mean, we talked about the best of ones, and that's where I've been always curious about Junior, where we always got these really good glimpses where he could have really good games and he could really be the playmaker. We've also seen where he had, like, literally no impact at all, but it felt like tonight he was just able to make all the connections in the world. And look at the difference of what we see. A map like Dust 2, somebody like an Opera like him, it's just an Opera's paradise, right? I mean, 13-9 was the first score. Now we're on 13-7. Marsborne taking a double loss here tonight, and a bit of a tough one here, Paladin, because I felt like Marsborne, they kind of were just playing a ton of catch-up this entire game.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, sometimes the damper of a sub can kind of hit, and they were clearly a little out of their depth on this one. I haven't also rematched them after playing so close to them at Dallas. It must have been also a tough pill to swallow. So a lot of concessions to be made, but I think there's still some glimpses of some really good things from this team. I still like how Wolfie calls in this squad. I still like some of the glimpses that I saw from MTM. I think there is a lot to like about Grizz when he comes back into the roster, and I'm still holding out hope for this team to kind of learn as time goes on and feel a little bit more comfortable when all is said and done.
Yeah, and I mean, it's, you know, that's it for us a little bit here. I mean, we talked a lot about these best of ones. We thought this was going to be a really, really good matchup, and it definitely was. I mean, Nouns showing us that despite all the turbulences and all the outside variables and all these things against them, they're still able to put in some really, really good results. But that's going to be it here for us in ECL in North America for tonight. It's Laz and Paladin bidding a fair due, and of course, shout out to production for tonight as well. And thank you for the fans for tuning in. We'll make sure we'll see you another time, another place. Take care.
Think you've seen it all? With Faceit Watch's Point of View Selector, you can experience the game from any pro's perspective. Use the multi-view feature and customize the stream with up to 4 angles. Control what points you see while earning rewards. Drops are activated and lucky winners will receive Faceit points. And if you ever miss a match, VODs are now available. Get instant access to demos with multiple POVs and commentary. Watch it, control it. face it.
Damn, guys.